Love Nation.
Let's go.
Welcome into DNVR Bus Primetime. We're presented by Illegal Pete's, everyone's go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beers. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. It's January. It's only January 3rd.
It is.
If you had told me to guess, I would have said like the 5th. Feels like we're well into the new year.
I'm destroyed this week already. I didn't know it was Wednesday until I got in the car, basically.
What day did you think it was?
I thought we were on Tuesday.
Okay. Well, that's better than the other way around.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. We touched on Bryce Underwood last week. And Steve Wiltfong of 247 Sports, their national recruiting director, wrote an article today about Bryce and his commitment. This Saturday, you can expect it around 3:30 Mountain Time, 5:30 Eastern. Bryce Underwood's coming off three consecutive state title appearances, lost this last one, won the previous two. He said he's committing on the 6th because that's honoring his great-grandmother, who was a big inspiration to him. He spoke about all the schools that are in for his commitment. There's 7 of them: Alabama, CU, Florida State, LSU, Michigan, Oregon, and Penn State. On Colorado, he said, the future is very big for Colorado. They're getting a lot of O-linemen to protect their quarterback. It's going to be a great future for Colorado. The experience at Colorado was unmatched. Game energy, game atmosphere is ridiculous.
And that's Bryce talking about that.
That's Bryce. He came here for the CSU game alongside Jordan Seaton.
Man. And him and Seaton are boys.
Yep.
Him and Shador are boys.
Yep.
And I love that. Just personally, I'm like, this dude's been everywhere. And he says that our atmosphere is unmatched.
Mm-hmm.
That means a lot to me. But how about this one?
Okay.
Quote from his mom.
Yes.
So this isn't Bryce. This is from his mom. And as I tweeted out, the eternal optimist in me is ready to call something in here an Easter egg.
Okay.
So, one thing we instill in Bryce is balance, she said. Making sure his decision will be based on him, first of all, being challenged academically, being mentally and emotionally healthy in his journey. Somewhere, he is being challenged on the football field and is able to use his voice as a leader. Now listen closely. Also somewhere where he can lay down a foundation of being legendary. I would say those factors, somewhere he is comfortable and where he can use his voice and where he's being heard. So I think, first of all, Colorado is a great spot for everything that she mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I said, eternal optimist in me, looking for hints, looking for spin, looking for Easter eggs. Somewhere laying the foundation of being legendary?
Yep.
Does that sound familiar to you, Jake?
I mean, he was attached at the hip to Shador after that game at CSU. I was surprised to see him walk in the press conference room, honestly.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
No, me either. In my life. He wanted to... It felt like he was in like a simulation of like, what's it like to be QB1 at Colorado?
Yes, exactly.
So obviously it's a reach. But when I heard that word legendary, laying down the foundation of being legendary, I'm like, well... Who better to do it than to follow in the footsteps of legendary mode himself, Shador Sanders?
His father also spoke about his commitment, said that education is huge. We want to make sure he goes to a school and gets his education. He apparently wants to go to school for psychology, other being sports medicine. So he's here to play football, but he sounds like he's here to play school too. Colorado's a great school.
I love it. Not me.
Go ahead.
I said, not me.
Oh.
I was never there to play school.
This is from his private quarterback coach, Donovan Dooley, just about Bryce's talent. He said he can do anything on a football field, throw a football from any platform, and when things go wrong, he can make you right. I love the fact he's a passer. Through his teachings, mic definitions, protections, and making adjustments during the game is vital. He's developed into a more mature quarterback. When we talk maturity, we talk more about decision-making and controlling the tempo and making guys better around him.
Love it. I have to say, a lot of times we're hard on these recruiting services.
Mm-hmm.
This was a really well-written piece by Steve
Wiltfong's legit.
Yeah. He got in the bag a little bit here.
Yep.
It was like well-reported, multiple voices.
Yep.
Good answers from Bryce on everything. I was like, this is actually it's no shade, but I feel like it's rare that you open up one of these articles on the recruiting services and it ends up being like a well-written piece.
Right, for sure. So he's visited LSU quite a few times. He's been to Michigan quite a few times as well. He's from Michigan, so that one makes a lot of sense. Where else? I think he's visited all these schools, actually. He spoke about each and every one. This quote is from Jermaine Kroll. That's his high school head coach. Called him a special talent, but it's not his talent that makes him unique or different. It's his desire. It's his competitive edge. That's what makes him different. He's a competitor. As much as I hate to lose, Bryce despises it more than anything. He tries to work to be the best at whatever he is applying himself to. That's what's going to make him great. He's going to work to get better. Whatever it is he can do, he's going to work to get better at it.
I got to say, man, Bryce Underwood has the opportunity of a lifetime here. And that's not to say he doesn't have great opportunity no matter where he goes, because he's an incredibly talented young man. And he's probably going to go to the NFL if he's able to stay on the path that he's on right now.
Sure.
But only one person has the opportunity to be next in line as the quarterback for Coach Prime, as the first ever quarterback for Coach Prime that wasn't his son.
Yep.
Now, I guess in the youth stuff, there might have been a small overlap. I know at one point it was Shiloh.
Yeah.
Then it became Shador. Maybe there's a gap in there somewhere, but I don't know. I don't think so. The way, like, the relationship that he'll be able to have with Coach Prime is really unique, and it gives him a really, really special opportunity that I have to imagine will weigh into his decision. And here's another thing. That quote from his mom, essentially about being challenged and wanting to lay a foundation of being legendary. This is one of Colorado's best recruiting. I know Coach Brown doesn't like to call it a pitch, but
Sure.
recruiting features. If Colorado does what they've set out to do, there will be documentaries about this. There already is one, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
30 for 30s. There will be, statues outside a Folsom Field of the people who are part of this. It will be a moment in history in college football. Obviously, going to Michigan or going to Alabama or going to all these places, like, you have a chance to do really special things. But I think one of the things that a lot of players that have come to Colorado have said is, I wanted to trudge my own path. And just from reading this, I felt like there's one of Colorado's best chances is that Bryce Underwood kind of wants to write his own story.
Yeah.
And Colorado is where you go to do that.
You don't think Jordan Seaton's been in his ear telling him the same exact thing?
Yep.
That's why he came to Colorado. Just looking through a lot of these schools that he's got in his top 7. I mean, there's plenty of opportunity here. But, you look at schools like Michigan. They just got a guy in 2024 who early enrolled. Sounds like they have their quarterback of the future. Oregon, they got Dylan Gabriel. They also got Dante Moore.
Yeah. Great point.
Florida State, I think they have a 5-star coming in. Who else? Penn State has Drew Allar. Like, he was the #1 overall recruit 2 years ago, I think. So there's just a real opportunity. We know Shador's probably gone after this. He's gone after this year. Not probably. Yep. He's gone. Yep. He can step right in and be quarterback from basically the second he commits on Saturday if he wants to come to Colorado.
Absolutely. It's a really unique opportunity. And, like, I don't know. If I was Bryce Underwood and I watched a well-off video, I would just be, like, putting myself in the role of Shador.
Yep.
Because, like, Shador's going to be off in the NFL. I would be like, wow, I get to be, like, next in line.
Right.
That's a really special opportunity. I will say, Andre brought something up to me upstairs that has given me pre-commitment anxiety. If Bryce Underwood commits to the Buffs on Saturday, we have to hold on to him for 11 months. Holding on to Jordan Seaton for 1 month was hell.
It wasn't even a month. It was a few weeks.
Yeah. That was so stressful. Like, I would love if he pulls like an Eric Brantley, commits, and then it's just like the only time we hear from him is he comes on an official visit next year and just comes and hangs out. But we don't have to hear like, oh, he's visiting Michigan this weekend again. Like, here we go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about this last time we talked about Bryce. It sounds like First off, this is a very bright kid, a very talented kid who knows what he wants in his next destination. But because of this early commitment date, I think this is him really kind of just ending it and trying to build a class around him. You're the number 1 overall player, dude.
Yep.
Like, the sooner you find a home, the sooner you can bring more talent in around you and build up the program that you go to what you want it to be.
Amen. I think that's a great point. It's a great point. But recruiting 5 stars.
It is, yeah.
Not for the faint of heart.
Are you worried at all the fact that he's only visited Colorado once and he's visited a few places multiple times?
So he's visited Michigan multiple times, obviously. It's in his backyard.
LSU's been like 6 or 7 times, apparently.
That's crazy. I mean, you'd like to see more, right? Like, just comparing it to that. But I mean, I don't know. If you have to go see something that many times, like, how many dates do you need to go on with a girl before you ask her to be your girlfriend?
That's true, I guess, because you go to Colorado once. Jordan Seaton's there. You see this overtime thriller against CSU where Shedeur has a legendary 98-yard drive. Like, that could have just been, all right, that's it right there.
Right, like, what more am I going to see?
Right, Lil Wayne's coming out that day and stuff, too. Like, what other school has that? No one.
It's, yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's another eternal optimist spin for me. What are you trying to learn? You got to see 7 times?
Right.
That being said, there's got to be a lot of attractiveness to going to a place that's had 2 Heisman winners at quarterback in the last, 7 years? Might even
Shorter
be less.
than that.
Yeah, 5.
Since, 2019? 5 years?
Feels like Joe Burrow's been in the league forever.
I know. We did this last time. Let's touch on the confidence meter here. Scale of 1 to 10. Where are you at with Bryce?
Ooh.
You said 6 last time. I said 7.
I think I'm up to a 7 now.
Okay. I'm holding fast at 7.
Okay.
I'm confident.
Cool hand, Jake.
I'm confident, but this is the number 1 overall player. You can literally go anywhere. So we'll see.
Yeah, I feel I should maybe. No, I think 7's a good place to be. But I will say, after I said 6 last week, someone hit me up and was like, I think we have a better chance than 6.
Let's go. People mentioned NIL in the comments. Is CU an NIL player for Bryce Underwood? Are they in this class now to consistently pull the top players at respective positions, top players overall?
I don't think the challenge right now is being able to afford a top player. It's more about how many can you get. You know what I mean? Like, Jordan Seaton was an NIL battle. Mm-hmm. We won it.
Yeah.
And Coach Prime changes the economics of that by being Coach Prime, if you know what I'm saying. By just, people want to play for Coach Prime, not just only searching a bag. But, there's costs to these things. Places like Ole Miss and Texas A&M and Alabama and et cetera, Mizzou, can just do this over and over and over again. We've got work to do to get to there. So hit up 5430 Foundation.
I mean, all these schools seem like they have deep pockets. We know FSU does for sure. We know Michigan and LSU do, as well as Oregon. Bama, of course, Penn State. I don't think NIL is going to be... I mean, it could be a battle here, but you're battling amongst the top schools. Like, I don't know. It feels like you're arguing for a fraction if you're getting into an NIL battle with this.
Yeah.
All right, Saturday, 3:30. Be ready.
What else do we have going on Saturday? Anything? It's
It's
a weird gap in the sports schedule.
Yeah, I think we have an NFL
there is an
game.
NFL game.
Yeah. I wanted a bowl game so bad last night.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
so thirsty for it.
Fiending.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I was too. I watched the Avs, which was actually an awesome game. But I was, not to mention, like, I've been so hot betting on bowl games. I was just like, give me another chance. I got to stay hot. It's like I feel like I had to leave the craps table and I was rolling.
Well, you get one more chance.
Speaking of the craps table, going to Circa on Friday.
There
baby.
you go.
Let's go.
Welcome back, Fubo TV, man. 140 plus live channels of sports shows, movies, and news. You can stream live from any device. And you can start watching immediately with a free trial. They got the Pac-12 network. They got the NFL network, Red Zone, all that good stuff. If you're a sports fan, Fubo TV is the place to be. You can watch all your favorite college football and NFL Fubo. Go to www.fubotv.com/DNVR, and you can sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. We love Fubo. Huge Fubo fans here.
We absolutely do. We also love Red Hawk Roofing.
Yes, we do.
If you're looking for a new roof over your home or business, be sure to check out Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com and tell them DNVR sent you. One thing I love about the folks over at Red Hawk Roofing, diehard Colorado sports fans. Those are the people that I like to work with and like our company to partner with. So check out our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com. Let them know DNVR sent you. One quick thing.
Go ahead.
The comments mentions that I forgot to mention about NIL in Colorado. One of the draws of Colorado, and another reason why you might be able to get a quote-unquote discount on the front end, is the opportunities that are going to exist for you
exactly
if you go and ball out at Colorado.
YouTube channels, endorsements, all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce Underwood, I don't know if you have a YouTube channel yet. If you commit on Saturday and start a YouTube channel, you can have 10,000 subscribers on that channel by
joke.
Sunday night.
Before you even upload a video, probably.
Yes. So that's an opportunity to boost yourself, but it goes far beyond that. I mean, we've seen Google, we've seen CVS. Travis posted yesterday, like Phil Long Ford. You'll have whatever you need taken care of if you come and ball out for Colorado. So that's another part that Coach Prime brings to the table that no one else can.
For sure. All right.
Like, have you even seen Jaden Daniels in like a national ad?
I haven't seen much of him really. Besides the Florida game, I don't want to get back into this. It's still ridiculous that he won the Heisman Trophy.
Look, he's a baller.
He is.
I love him. Would be happy if he became a Bronco. But Penix was so slept on. It's crazy.
I mean, you've seen so many comparisons to the Christian McCaffrey Heisman run on Twitter.
And
it's the same thing.
I tweeted out about it, about how the only reason he wasn't the Heisman winner because he plays in the Pac-12. And someone said, the Heisman winner last year was out of the Pac-12. And I'm like,
he played for
it's
USC.
different when it's USC. And I didn't want to I didn't even respond to them because I was like, we're just going to go back and forth.
Right.
But playing for USC is just different, you know, than playing for basically any other Pac-12 school. Even UCLA, I don't think is quite the same. But you're playing in one of the biggest markets in America.
Yeah.
You are on the West Coast, but like, for example, there's a ESPN studio right down the street. You know, like it's a little different than when you're tucked up there in the Northwest.
For sure.
Anyways, I haven't seen Penix in any commercials either.
He needs them.
He does. Should have played at Colorado.
We need to go back. I want to go back to our interview with him, man.
Yeah, he was quiet.
He was.
Honestly, when I was sitting there talking to him, I was like, this guy is all about ball.
I know. I love it.
Like, he kind of thinks it's silly that he's here.
He's got the swag. He's got everything.
But not in like a disrespectful way. And just like what am I doing?
Yeah.
I could be practicing or watching ball. Watching
all
tape
about
right
business.
Now.
Yep. I love it. All right. A couple of notes here for recruiting in the transfer portal.
Take Heat says, I refuse to get excited about Bryce until signing day. No way. It's not possible.
This is the number one player.
It sounds good in theory.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to say I could do something like that, but we're going to get excited.
Yesterday, we got a crystal ball for Gregory Genros. Genros?
I'll let you I'll let that go. Seems like the most obvious pronunciation.
He is a 6'6", 230-pound tight end. The number one JUCO tight end in the 2024 class. He's from Dodge City Community College. He's actually from the Bronx. That's his hometown.
Damn.
He entered the portal, or not entered the portal, I guess he was a JUCO recruit, but he was recruited pretty heavily. He committed to Arkansas on November 30th. And then a few weeks went by. He decommitted on the 12th. CU offered him on the 2nd. And then Mississippi State's 247 Sports Insider filed an 8 crystal ball, an 8 for him to be a Buff.
So you're telling me he's trying to get the hell out of Dodge?
Yes.
All right. Well, we got a great landing spot for him here in Boulder. 6'6", 230. Sign me up. Sign me up big time. an 8 crystal ball is very nice. Certainly nothing to be slept on. Number one, like you said, number one JUCO tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Been looking for one more person probably to add to that. You know, you could add more, but you only have so many scholarships. Going from, with all due respect, Michael Harrison and
Caleb Faria for a 2-point conversion.
yeah, exactly. Michael Harrison and no one to Shimon Mateer and Gregory Genros would be very, very awesome. And I hope that he is generous enough to bring the Genros family to Boulder.
God. One of the issues with the tight ends that we had this last season, they weren't very big, obviously. We had Michael Harrison, who was a converted wide receiver, so he was a little on the smaller side, was more that flex tight end. Shimon Mateer is 6'5", 250. He's kind of got that typical Y tight end build. Genros a little smaller at 230. I guess, are you at all concerned about maybe lack of size at the position still?
A little.
And depth, too. I mean, it's only 2 guys we have at this point.
Yeah. Louis Passarello is still on the roster.
Yes.
And felt like Brew really liked him before he got hurt. He was pretty bummed when he went down. So that's one more, but another guy who's undersized. I'll just say this. Most schools don't have those huge tight ends that you're used to seeing in the NFL.
That's fair.
Especially in the conferences that were, Pac-12 or Big 12. They do exist. I'm not saying they aren't. But a lot of times you look out there and you're seeing guys who are tall and not as bulky as what you have. Like, this is one of the reasons why I wanted Jalen Conyers so much, because he's kind of a unicorn in college football to be that big and that mobile.
Yep.
Probably a future NFL draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough. You'd like to have your Darnell Washington out there, but there's not that many of them out
Those
there.
are unicorns, yeah.
Exactly.
For example, Dallin Holker, who was he transferred into CSU.
Yep.
And he was imposing this last year.
He was great.
He's only listed at 6'4", 235. That kind of surprised me. I thought he'd be much bigger.
He looked bigger when he was playing. Maybe it's because he was just killing us.
He put a hurting on us. Next note we have, though, and I don't know how you guys do it. The chat is just so on top of things. Yesterday they brought up Willie Gaines, and if he entered the portal at the end of the show, I thought it was out of nowhere. And then last night, Willie Gaines enters the portal.
Yeah.
Kind of a lot to unpack there.
Well, speaking of yesterday's show, I said something and I wasn't alluding to Willie at all. And I'm not even saying this is the situation. Mm-hmm. But I said, you just keep adding wide receivers, and if you have to take wide receivers off the back end, then you'll do that. I don't know if that's what happened here. He was kind of cryptic about saying it was out of his control or something along those lines.
He had some tweets again, yeah.
But regardless, the point is the room is really stacked, and it might be getting more stacked. And it might be getting more stacked at his direct position, meaning kind of your inside speed player, if they go get LeJontay Wester. So it makes sense for Willie. I actually think Willie can play ball.
He's got speed.
Yeah, legit. But he didn't get the opportunities at Colorado. There's other players in front of him. Jimmy, Chick, kind of playing that speed role in the offense. And so, I hope that Willie goes somewhere that he can get on the field and show what he can do.
He was obviously unhappy with how... What?
Should put the Under Armour All-American game on. Starting any second.
Can you get this TV on, Alyssa? Please?
Can someone help us turn this TV on?
They're not listening to us.
Alyssa is.
I hear ya.
Thanks, Alyssa.
I'll get the channel figured out.
Where was I going? Oh, yeah. He was obviously pretty unhappy.
Thank you, guys.
With a lot of things that unfolded at CU, I think, this last year. I think he came in coming off that big not a big JSU season, but he was a factor. I think he scored 8 touchdowns. He had over 500 yards, I believe. He was catching long bombs from Shador and just didn't see the field this year.
Yep.
I think he only had 2 receptions for 12 yards. It's just obviously he wanted more, and it just sucks, man. He wanted it to work out here. It didn't work out. It's a shame he kind of, I guess, blew it up a little bit more than it had to be, but
Yeah.
he was unhappy.
Totally. All right, I'm working on getting the channel on here.
ESPN, right?
Yeah. Oh wait.
That's about all I got on Willie, though. We wish him luck. Hopefully he lands on his feet. Like we said, I think this guy can play, so we'll see where he ends up here. All right. While you get that set up,
Bang. Good teamwork, everyone.
good
By
job,
everyone,
team.
I mean, yeah. No one knows that I can do that. I don't want anyone to know.
Well, you just told thousands of people.
Well, I don't care about them knowing. I don't want people that work here knowing.
Well, good thing they're not paying attention to us.
Or else then everyone asks me every time they need something done.
Shout out to our great friends over at Circle K. I'm a huge, stop at the gas station, pick up a few snacks type of guy, and Circle K is my go-to spot. You can sign up for their Inner Circle reward program. It's a free membership. It's
What's
very
your
simple.
go-to?
My go-to?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge sunflower seed guy.
Just
Love them.
What context do you eat sunflower seed? Any context?
I mean, last night when I was riding, I was crushing a bag.
I like it.
During football games, I mean, when you're nervous, just sitting there, Alyssa knows, that's what I eat up in the press box.
Just smashing on.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what seeds do you go with?
I like the spit still pickle ones.
Nice, great.
Those
choice.
are the great ones, probably the best ones. I like the Ranch David's ones. What are your go-to snacks?
I'm not much of a snacker.
I don't believe that.
It's true. I'm like I get starving and then you just eat a really big meal.
I mean, I kind of do
Not
the
the
same.
best thing
But
for my physique. But
also, those Nerds candies,
you know what I love?
huh?
The little pretzels with the peanut butter on the inside.
Okay, what are the combos?
No. Those are the ones with the cheese.
Oh,
These are
right,
like
right.
I don't know. You can't see the inside. It's just like a little pretzel dome,
I know what you're saying.
and they're filled with peanut butter. Those are fire.
I love Takis too. That's a good one.
Takis are fire. I can only eat. It's like a couple times a year thing for me. Though.
Nah, man, I'll crush a whole bag.
So will I. But then I'm like, okay, I need a break from Takis for a little while.
Not to get too deep in the weeds here.
Is there Takis flavored seeds?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Let's go.
They make these hot Cheetos that are like Carolina Reaper hot Cheetos.
Okay.
So they're really spicy, but they got like a little sweetness on them.
Okay.
They're incredible.
Hell yeah, sign me up. If I feel like you're at least close to me on ability to handle spice. Like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
do they hit? What level are they at for you?
They're definitely hotter than regular hot Cheetos. They're probably about a 7.5 to 8.
That's legit.
They're spicy.
Here comes Jordan Seaton. There he is.
There you go.
All right, we can get back on track. You were talking about the card you can sign
Yeah,
up.
the Inner Circle. Download the app. Use the QR code. Just enter your email and phone number to be fully enrolled. You get your first 5 fill-ups of gas are 25 cents off. You get 5 free Polar Pops and every 6 free on several items, including pizza, rollers, beverages, donuts, and more. Shout out Circle K. And then
Oh, I got you.
Illegal
Pete's.
Pete's.
Big shout out to Illegal Pete's. If you want to get big and strong like Jordan Seaton, dang, great block on the first play. You got to get over to our friends at Illegal Pete's. Go with steak and queso burrito. Go with reverse nachos. Definitely get something involving the queso because the queso is elite. But whatever you're doing, Illegal Pete's is the go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beers. They have many locations, but they now have a new one in Gold's Marketplace on the corner of 26th and Kipling, overlooking Crown Hill Park. To be honest, Jake, I have no idea where that is,
It's in
but
Wheat
it
Ridge.
sounds really nice.
It's in Wheat Ridge.
It sounds really nice. So check out the new Illegal Pete's over in Gold's Marketplace.
All right, as we try not to get too distracted here with this Under Armour All-American game on, ESPN put out a list today. Top 100 players in college football in 2023.
Okay.
We had 2 buffs make the list. Could you guess who those 2 buffs possibly were?
I can certainly guess exactly who they are, but the question is, were they properly ranked Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. And I'm going to guess that Travis Hunter was ranked above Shedeur.
He was.
Okay.
Do you want to guess what number for Travis Hunter? How high did he get up the list?
I'll tell you where I think he should have been.
Okay.
And I would guess that they have him lower than this. But I think at the lowest, he should be 15th.
Prepare to be disappointed because he's 35th.
Yeah. Man, Seton is just...
Is he mauling?
He's just a wall. The only thing I'll say here is, like, the cop-out for them is that he missed games. Was it 3 in the end?
Yeah, he missed 3 games.
Yep, missed 3 games in the end. So, like, kind of gives you an excuse to say, oh, well, yeah, we got to drop him down a little bit. But there's absolutely no possible way that Travis Hunter is not a top 34 player in college football.
There's not 35 players better than him right now.
No.
And there's NFL players in front of him. I mean, Jared Verse, Jazon Newton, Troy Franklin, Kool-Aid, of course, Jaden Daniels, Penix, all those guys, Romo Dunze. But he was, I mean, we've spoken about it before. He was robbed of like an all-time great season in college football because of that hit and injury he took.
Yep, absolutely. And that's just a fact. But there's just no way. Who's number 34?
Number 34 is Drake May. Do you want to know who number 33 is?
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy.
Oh, come on. Damn, that was easy for the ICE team.
Noah Fafita is number 31.
Oh, my God. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that all these quarterbacks are so low. What the heck? They've got like a Barbie box they can go in?
What was that?
It reminded me of the thing at Circa that you took the picture. So I said the Barbie box.
Do you want to guess where Shedeur is on this list?
Okay, well, I would have definitely not had Shedeur lower than 35.
Well,
But I was right in guessing that Travis was above him. So I'll guess... Again, I can't guess where I think he should be. I'll say where I think he should have been.
okay.
I said Travis, there's no way he could be lower than 15. Shedeur, I would say there's no way that he could be lower than 20.
69.
An honor.
In some ways,
In
yes.
some ways, an honor.
Do you want to hear the player right in front of him at 68?
Do it.
Michael Pratt, the quarterback from Tulane.
Oh, my God. Get the fuck out of here.
Some quarterbacks ranked in front of him include him. I'm trying to find a lot of wide receivers. Cam Ward is 52.
It's been a while since I looked at Shedeur's season stats. What did he finish with?
27 and 3.
27.
That's not including rushing.
So over 30 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. What was his final yardage?
I'm pulling it up right now. They didn't. I don't think they factored in rushing yards for him, at least in this article. This internet's not working right now.
Okay. I got it. Shedeur Sanders stats.
Here we
He
go.
finished the season with 3,200 yards, 27 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions,
4 rushing.
and 4 rushing. So 31 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, a 10-1. Well, I guess you'd have to include fumbles in there too, which I think he had 1 or 2. But regardless, that is a top 50 player for sure. And like I said, I would have him in the top 20.
I mean, another guy who had his season derailed just by the offensive line, the offensive coordinator issues.
And that's where I think like knowing ball
for sure
is important
Of
to
course.
these things. Like, I think you could make a very good argument out there that given the circumstances that he was under, Shedeur Sanders might have had the most impressive season by a quarterback in college football this year.
Do you think we see a rebound in the Shedeur discourse? Like, last season it was all doubt. Is it all going to be uplifting and building up? Probably not, because it's
No.
Colorado and Coach Prime and Shedeur. But
There will be people out there who are like, honestly, ball knowers are going to be pro
for
Shedeur.
sure, yeah.
Like, I don't know why. Like, if Brian Baldinger is talking about quarterbacks, like, you're going to hear good things about Shedeur. But it's the talking heads who know they can drive engagement over being anti-Colorado, anti-Sanders,
Right.
that are going to be against it. that being said, like, I tell me if there's someone that pops to your head right away as like that could have 31 touchdowns to 3 interceptions under those circumstances. Like, was there someone else out there at quarterback who was overcoming that much to put up that good of a season?
No, I really don't think so.
I don't think so.
I mean, they had literally the worst offensive line in the FBS, allowed the most sacks, were just disjointed all the time. Shador was running for his life and still scoring touchdowns, completing passes down the field.
Yeah, and there are obviously times where Shador held on to the ball too long.
Of course.
And he took some sacks that could have been avoided by throwing the ball away. But most of that, in my opinion, had to do with the fact that he was the offense. What did we say all year? The identity of the offense is save us Shador. Mm-hmm. And just like snap it. If the first read's not there, pray that Shador makes a crazy play with his feet. You watch Michael Penix, and honestly, my biggest fear for Michael Penix as an NFL player is that he's behind the winners of the Joe Moore Award, the best offensive line in college football. He's amazing, and he's dropping dimes left and right. He's doing it most of the time with a clean pocket. And I'm, again, not trying to take anything away from Penix, but if you put Shador behind that line, you're getting similar results.
Oh, yeah. If you put Shador behind any of those playoff lines,
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely outplaying Ewers. He's definitely outplaying JJ. He's outplaying Jalen Milroe for sure.
Yep.
Him and Penix is just kind of a toss-up there.
Yep. Exact. That's my exact point. So because of that, I believe he deserves to be a lot higher on this list. Colorado obviously didn't have the season they wanted to, and I think if they beat Stanford, then they probably win one more game and they're going bowling. And I think the narrative is totally different.
Well,
but because Colorado goes 4-8, they just someone like Shador, they're like, well, if he was that good, they would have won more games.
If he doesn't get hurt at the end of the year, they could beat Utah.
Yeah, for sure. Man, so I watched this first ice drive. By the way, the two teams in the Under Armour All-American game, it's called the Next. No, it's still called the Under Armour Next All-American game.
Yeah.
It's fire and ice. Jordan Seaton is on Team Ice. I watched their drive, and I thought, like, oh, this is like the Pro Bowl. Mm-hmm. No one's really trying. Now the ice defense is, like, clamping up. So I don't know if that is the case. If they were, like, the quarterback was just chilling back there for the ice team.
He just got wrestled down. Goodness.
Yeah, now the fire team's under pressure.
We're missing out here. We had Brandon Davis Swain. He was the other buff that was going to be in this game, but they wouldn't let him play because of an injury he suffered to his elbow, I guess, at the end of their playoff run out there in Michigan.
They want to know who was number 1 on this list.
Oh, it was Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
I'll tell you
Give us the top 5 here.
Yeah, top 10 real quick. Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix Jr., Marvin Harrison Jr., Bo Nix, Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, Dallas Turner, Joe Alt, and Caleb Williams.
Do you think there's a chance Caleb falls off of number 1 pick?
I do.
I do too.
He shouldn't, though.
I'm
still firmly Team Caleb.
Yeah. I love Penix. And if I was giving, I don't know, if I was able to just watch the tape and know nothing about my God, this guy's
damn,
crazy.
Who is this?
I don't know. If I was watching the tape and had no idea what the players were and I didn't know anything about their backstories,
It's DJ Lagway.
I would take Penix. But when you're doing this, you have to factor in a lot of things. Penix coming off of 2 knee surgeries in his career, and now he's been healthy for 2 straight years, but still worries you, like one more. You never come back from a second ACL the same way you came back from a first on the same knee. He's 20. He's going to be 24.
Yeah,
by the time he takes his first snap. Caleb's 2 years younger, so it's like you're asking yourself, will Caleb Williams be as good as Penix is now 2 years from now in your system?
Sure.
And I think most NFL evaluators would say they're going to take Caleb. But let me say, for the Broncos, it might work out just perfectly. Like, Sean Payton's here for a good time, not for a long time.
Oh, for sure.
He's not worried about Michael Penix's knees 10 years from now.
Yep.
He's worried about who's giving me the best chance to win right now. So I think it might work out perfectly for them there. But the Penix hype train is on fire right now, so he might end up working his way into the top 5.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's where he ends up. Top 3 even. maybe even top 2 over Drake May. But Caleb, look, man, if that defense was just a little bit better, I think the narrative around him is much different. They probably win that Washington game if they're able to get an extra stop or two. You know, like the Tulane Bowl loss last year, like what more do you want the guy to do?
Yeah.
He puts up numbers, he scores touchdowns. It's not his fault. His defense allows 50 points all the time.
I will say, and it's very notable for us right now because this is what basically Sean Payton's complaint about Russ was, which was like he's not doing enough within the confines of the offense.
Yes.
And it's like that's why Penix looks so good.
Right.
Because he's just playing that offense at such an elite level. Whereas Caleb and honestly Shedeur last year, now Shedeur was more because he didn't have a choice. But they are operating, they're creating plays that aren't there. They're playmakers. And obviously we've seen Shedeur when he's working within the offense and he's elite at it. And I think Caleb can be too. But last year especially, it felt like Caleb fell in love with the idea of like, I could gain 10 yards by just hitting this dig. Or I can break out of the pocket and let Zachariah Branch streak across the field, and I can hit him, and I can throw, off platform 60 yards down the field.
Yep.
I think there's a chance, though, that the way things ended for him at the end of last season, which was very bad, just from like an optics standpoint, they're losing every week. He's crying on the sidelines. I think that NFL teams might overthink it, and by the time the draft actually comes around, talk themselves out of drafting Caleb Williams.
Yep. I'm still Team Caleb, though, man. What I saw the last 2 seasons was special football.
He does things that very, very few people can do.
It comes down to margin of error, and he's just got such a wide margin of error. He can bail you out of so many situations. He can create plays out of nothing.
It's why Josh Allen was able to survive the first 2 years in the NFL when he was still kind of trying to figure out how to play quarterback.
Right.
He was just running around like crazy and making plays because his margin of error was bigger. I think you're going to see that a lot for Caleb Williams. But I also think if I had to pick like who's my most likely to have a CJ Stroud impact on their team next year, I would pick Penix.
I agree. Back to the list real quick. We can talk about Zay Weaver. He should have been on this list, right?
I think so. And I had you tell me who's the last receiver on the list.
Zachariah Branch at like 83.
And when you look at Zachariah Branch's stats and Xavier Weaver's stats, they were incredibly comparable. And you could say, like, from a pure wide receiver standpoint, Zay was better. In fact, I don't even think you could say that. It's obvious fact.
Right.
So the fact that there's 17 spots after Branch, I think you could have snuck Zay into this list.
I mean, Zachariah Branch was very explosive. He was very fun to watch.
He's awesome to watch.
I do feel like his kick returns, though, kind of just boosted him up another few notches. Whereas Zay, like you just said, he's a more complete wide receiver. He was making plays down the field more consistently. He was the number 1 wide receiver. And if he doesn't get hurt, he breaks 1,000 yards and has an even better season statistically.
Yep. So I would have loved to see Zay make the back end of this list. He was awesome this year. And haven't heard much NFL hype for him outside of our circle. Someone is going to get a great player.
Yep.
Like a really good wide receiver. And I'm starting to believe they're going to be able to do it beyond the second round, maybe even beyond the third round.
Yep.
Which is crazy to me.
I'm trying to find... I don't think he's picked a bowl yet, All-Star Bowl.
Oh, okay. Is he invited to the Senior Bowl?
Senior Bowl tweeted him out early in the year, but I don't know if we've gotten Senior Bowl invitations yet, though.
We're getting some Jordan Seaton hype on the field right now.
Let me check real quick here. Who do you think from this year's team, outside of Shedeur and Travis, could make this list next year?
Shit, man, I'm watching Jordan Seaton lock it down over here, dreaming of a potential left tackle for Colorado on this list. But I think Will Shepherd would be my number 1 candidate for this. This dude is going to be such a perfect match with Shedeur. You know, one of the things that I learned last year. Who is that?
I think we're good, bro.
Okay. Oh, it's
It's Jaquan McCroy.
Oh, just got my heart dropping over
That
here.
was scary.
Someone, if you're not watching at home, someone was down on the field on the offensive line. One thing I learned about Shedeur last year, which is true of a lot of quarterbacks who are incredibly smart, and that is to really jive with him as a wide receiver, you too have to be incredibly smart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's why Zay put up the numbers that he did, is he got Shedeur. He understood Shedeur. It's honestly why Shedeur liked Montana from the start, because he's like, okay,
Yeah.
you know where to be and how to get there. You know how to find the spot in a zone. And you don't put up the numbers that Will Shepherd has put up without knowing these things about football. And you can talk. I want you to talk about your film room here in just a second, but I'll just add, Will Shepherd and Shedeur Sanders is going to be like a match made in heaven. And because of that, I think you're going to see like a really big number next to his name when the stats come out next year, and I bet you he makes this top 100 list.
So yeah, I wrote up this film room last night. It's up on DNVR.com right now if you want to go check it out. Packed with clips, and analysis from his career at Vanderbilt. We talked about it a lot, man. But he just reminds me so much of Zay Weaver in everything he does. He can go over the top and take the football off of defensive backs' heads. He's a big play threat from anywhere on the field. He has the speed to take it to the house if he breaks a tackle. He's extremely tough. He's willing to catch the ball in contested situations underneath, can break tackles, and he's just an all-around football player. He can return punts if you ask him to. He can work the short game, work intermediate, and of course he's a deep threat. And he's just bigger Zay Weaver. He really is.
Yep.
He's got more of a frame. He kind of reminds me of like prime Allen Robinson when he was in Jacksonville, you know?
Nice.
Just how he was
Or
able
at Penn State.
Yeah, just how he was able to play the football up there and just kind of make big plays happen all the time.
Dude, his catch radius is pretty crazy. He has super long arms.
There's a few sideline catches in this film room where he is up against this. There's no room for him to work the alley, and he has to full extend to make these grabs.
Yep.
It's outrageous.
Yeah. And what's funny is we didn't have that many crazy catches this last year. A lot of it was because Shedeur is so accurate.
Yep.
But he makes some dope catches, some sick one-handed catches. And yeah, his catch radius is special. But like I said, that understanding of the game from a guy who's going into his 5th year in college football is going to go a long, long way with Shedeur.
Yep. I mean, again, it's just like Zay Weaver, man. Zay Weaver came in as a grad transfer last year, had decent production at his prior stop, but was just primed to explode playing with the best quarterback he's ever played with, the most weapons he's ever been surrounded by. He doesn't have to go up against Georgia and Alabama and all these LSU defensive backs week in and week out now. So I'm expecting a big year from him. I'm excited to watch him.
Go check it out. Check out the film room, thednvr.com. Jake put in the work watching Will Shepherd and gives you a really good snapshot of the player the Buffs are getting.
All right. Last shout out to our friends over at Backus and Shanker. If you get hurt, give them a call. They've been helping Colorado families win for 25 plus years. They've won over $1 billion for their clients. No fees to speak with them about your case. No fees while they work on your case. And no fees unless they win your case and win money for you. They got more than 30 lawyers and 100 people on staff. They're all throughout the city. They help with all kinds of injury cases where you weren't at fault. Car accidents, motorcycle, rideshare, pedestrians, trucks. Even if you're hurt at work, you know who to call. Smash the 222-2222 to find out if you have a case for free. Backus and Shanker wins.
We'll get the ad here in a second, but
You're
I was
good.
very distracted by... Oh, I think we're good, right?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Check this out.
Okay.
2021, Shedeur Sanders' freshman season at Jackson State. Listen to his stats. 272 of 413, so that's 65% completions, 3,200 yards, 30 touchdowns, 8 interception, a 151.7 rating. Does that sound familiar to you? Because this last year, he went 298 of 430, so 69% completion, 3,200 yards, same amount of yards, 27 touchdowns, a few less, 3 interceptions, a few less, 151.7 rating. Exact same rating. The reason I bring that up is that's Shador's first season at a new level, right? He goes from high school to Jackson State. He puts up those numbers, which is crazy as a true freshman anyways.
Yeah.
But then his second season at Jackson, which pattern would tell us is more like what we're going to see this year, 341 of 483, 70% completions, 3,700 yards, 40 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a 160.4 rating. That might just be what we're in for this year. And that is Heisman type numbers.
Absolutely, man. He's just, I can't wait to watch him again.
I know.
It's going to be such a big year.
Watching him with protection.
I know. Seeing him move like Penix in the pocket, like those little shimmies just to find a window. Instead of just sprinting out the back and just hoping that he can run all the way around to the line of scrimmage and maybe complete it.
Awesome.
It's going to be a lot different. Cam with the question, do we actually know if he would start right away with Walter Taylor and the kid from Kentucky, or even Stout being
on the team
right now? Absolutely.
Well, you don't know anything, but he would have the inside track.
All he does is win and play at a high level since he was a freshman at high school.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he would have a very good chance to start. I'll put it that way.
For sure.
All right, next question.
What's up, Eric? Arizona and Colorado basketball tonight on ESPN. Tonight?
It's tomorrow, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, we'll be watching tomorrow for sure.
Right? It is tomorrow. I'm not
Thought
crazy.
it was Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, Thursday.
Okay.
I cannot wait. I was thinking maybe we watch it here. Invite the people down to come hang out. But Arizona, number 10 in the country right now, very flawed. Very good, very talented, very flawed.
Yep.
On the road in college basketball is incredibly difficult. I'm not expecting the Buffs to win, but I expect them to put up give themselves a chance.
And still, the last we heard, we don't really know the status of Tristan and Cody. So
yeah, I would guess that this would be like their target date when they went down.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's just get back for Arizona. And to be fair, they've executed everything perfectly. The Buffs have won every game without them.
Yep.
But it would be sweet if we could get them back. I know Cody wants to be out there playing against Arizona, and same with Tristan. There's two NBA prospects playing in a game that's going to have a lot of scouts.
I think Cody's closer than Tristan, for what it's worth.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Coach K, what's up, man? Says, love the show, guys, but Lovie Smith would be an absolute terrible hire. He hasn't been considered a good head coach since 2011. Mike Zimmer or Jim Leonard?
I disagree.
Same.
He didn't say good head coach. He just said good coach, but most of that time he has been a head coach. And I think he is considered a very good coach. He hasn't exactly been in places that are set up for success.
He was just left on the vine to wilt away in Houston. There was no, you had the Deshaun Watson stuff going down. They had no quarterback. They were terrible all the way around.
Yeah, they kind of brought him in as just like a
scapegoat.
Scapegoat, a stopgap, whatever you want to call it, Band-Aid. They're like, let's bring in someone who's going to establish good culture. But Lovie Smith is a very good defensive mind. And someone I think in our YouTube post-show comments yesterday commented Warren Sapp played in the Tampa 2.
Yeah.
So bring in, you have another person who can help teach these guys the defense. I think it makes a lot of sense. I don't know if that's which way they're going to go, but I would like it if they did.
Well, even beyond that, just his history at Illinois and coaching college football too. You literally get the best of both worlds. And we talked about how he used the portal at Illinois yesterday. He's not going to be shocked by how Colorado's trying to build their roster or how they're going to have to go get players moving forward.
Yep.
Luis says, any hints when the new coach will be announced? We don't know anything. We really don't.
Coach Prime, if you're watching, be sick if you did it an hour before our show.
Yeah, that'd be clutch. DJ Flame with the super chat. Okay, guys, each of you give us your top 5 opponents you're excited for next season, even though we don't know the dates.
Okay, number 1, Nebraska. Number 2, make sure I'm excited for CSU.
Gotta be.
Yep.
How can you not be?
Exactly. Shout out to Jay Norvell for making people care about that game again, I guess.
All right, so we got North Dakota, obviously. North Dakota State, sorry. Arizona, Utah, Baylor, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Cincinnati.
Oklahoma State's going number 3 for me.
Cincinnati, Kansas, Texas Tech, UCF. UCF's up there too.
I'm not putting them in my top 5.
Why?
I'm going Nebraska, Colorado State, Oklahoma State, Kansas State.
I'll throw. I like the battle of the black and gold, though.
I'm excited.
I'm intrigued
for
by
sure.
it.
But I want. I guess it's all nostalgia. My whole top 5 is just nostalgia. It's our old
fair.
rivalries and it's our old kind of offshoot rivalries.
I'll throw in Utah as well. I just feel like that could be a nice measuring stick game year over year to see. I mean, you could say the same thing about Nebraska and CSU, but Utah was the team to beat in the Pac-12 for a while, and they're going to be, I think, one of, if not the teams at the top next year.
Oh my God, that was sick. Yeah, I think you're right. You got a 47-year-old Cam Rising leading the way. Wiley vet.
I can't believe he's coming back.
I can't either. But yeah, I'm excited for the whole season, dude.
Same, man.
Like even North Dakota State has a case to be on this because it's the first game.
For sure.
Watch this little juke. Whoop. And then
and a dart.
Yeah.
Who threw that?
I don't know. A wide receiver.
Nitro Tuggle, maybe? Who is that?
This is fun.
They gonna put his name up at all?
No. By the way, last thing I'll say here. Oh, we got a couple more super chats. But I was gonna say, Jordan Seaton, one of the few offensive linemen that looks cool on the field.
Oh yeah, he's got that swag.
Yeah,
man.
that's a rare trait.
Warren with the $30 super chat says,
Damn.
Happy New Year, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Warren. Really
Appreciate all the support all year long, man. And then Brienne says, Jake, where do you want Bryce? Michigan or Colorado? I mean,
Breen.
come on.
Yeah.
I want to cover the guy. I want to talk to him. I want to follow him.
Yep.
It'd be cool if he played for my favorite team, but it's different here, obviously, for many reasons.
Yeah, he wants him to be a buff.
Of course. I saw it was someone's birthday in the chat. If that was you, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Smoke?
Happy birthday, Smoke.
Is that it? All right, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. You're here tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. We'll see you then. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.